Hello, everybody. I'm Viggy Parhampton, and welcome to Tag Team Tales of Terror, where another horror author and I work together to create something short and diabolical. Today, I've tagged Denise Guay, who writes under the name DM Guay. Denise is an award-winning former journalist and the author of the hilarious and ghoulish 24/7 Demon Mart series. She's also a hobby urban farmer and a retired roller derby player. Welcome, Denise.
Hello, everyone.
What did I miss? I know that was kind of a short bio.
I don't know. I felt like you dug like deep back through like my entire life. So, probably too much you got in there. So yeah, I'm a big nerd and I'm terrified. So everybody out there, I apologize because I am really not great at improv storytelling, but I'm gonna do my best. So
You're setting
like
our expectations low just so you can knock them out of the park.
I'm like setting them low because there's a reason that I chose like a job where I could just type alone in my basement and have time to think about things. And then Viggy is just so charming. And when she asks for things, I can't say no. So then I end up in situations like this where I'm like totally pulled out of my strengths. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna be fine.
We're going to do it. This is also a good way to get rid of any sort of creativity block you have. If that ever happens, like this will get it right out.
Oh yeah, like creativity block never ever happens.
No,
Never.
of course not.
Nope. Never. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope.
Well, let's get into the rules. So, Tag Team Tales of Terror, it's a progressive story where you and I will alternate telling bits of the story until we reach some sort of satisfying conclusion. So, we'll each get 30 seconds and then we'll switch. So, I'll have a timer up in the corner and you'll just watch it. And when it hits, 30 seconds or a minute, you'll switch it over to me. And then I will have a prompt that I pull out from this handy dandy hat.
Oh geez, there's a hat. Okay.
There's a hat.
All good parties start with a hat.
Me too. And as my guest, you will get to start, which I know is a bit of the harder job. I'm sorry, but I will follow your lead. And if you want a pen and paper to jot anything down as we go, sometimes I find that helpful if that's something you want to do. And we're aiming for about 10 minutes, but if it goes longer, if it's shorter, that's fine. And then after putting you through that, I have a little surprise for you.
So 10 minutes sounds like, oh my God, that's like no time at all. But when like you're sitting here like 30 seconds at a time, it's gonna feel like 3 hours. So
Well, you know what? If we can tell a story in 6 minutes or 5 minutes and it's still satisfying, that's fine.
okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I
Any
still love you,
questions?
no matter how bad this goes. No.
You will do great. You will do
We're
great.
still gonna be friends, right? Okay.
Of course.
All right.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready and I will start. Oh, wait. I have to pull the prompt out.
Yeah,
Almost forgot.
like aren't
Okay.
you supposed to do something?
I
Okay.
wrote these, but I don't remember what they are. So we'll see.
Oh, how long ago did you write those? Like 10
Like
minutes ago?
6 months.
Oh, okay. So you're not
Okay.
like trapping me. All right.
I think you're going to like this one.
Okay.
Where animals that aren't wolves?
Okay, so that's the theme.
That is the theme. Do with it whatever you want. And when you are ready, I will start the timer.
Hmm. So do I just like I'm like character first person and then I like walk through and start the
You
stories?
just tell the story however you want to tell the story. And then I will follow your lead.
So I'm walking home late from work one night and the sun has just gone down and the moon is full. And I decide to cut through the park even though it's a little bit scary and it's really dark and it's abandoned. It's kind of a spooky park. So I run through the park because I'm running late. I've got a date later. You know, not sure about this guy I just met on the dating app, but going to give him a try anyway because, not a lot of options out there in the world. So my boss hates me and he wants to fire me and I'm thinking about it and I cut through the park and I'm running so fast that one of my flip-flops flies off
Eh,
and I stub my toe and something nips me on the toe and I'm like, "What?" So I look down and there's a little bit of blood on the tip of my toe and I realize that I'm standing on a worm, an earthworm. And I swear just for a minute that he looks up at me and gives me a look before he then scooches on down across the path. And I think that's really weird. I've never seen a worm do that before.
And I look down at my bloody toe and I think I'm going to have to get a band aid for that. And where did my flip flop go? I can't imagine that the date I'm about to see later, whose name is Jeremy, is going to be interested in a girl who's missing a shoe and comes in with a bloody toe. It is not a good first impression. So I shuffle back, holding my toe as best I can to get my flip flop. And that's when I see there's another worm. and it looks like it's coming at me.
All right, I lost track of the timer. Okay. So I'm standing there holding my bloody toe and my flip flop in one hand, thinking, God damn it, Jeremy. And I realize that all across the path in the shimmering moonlight, I can see worms. Worms, just like running across the path as far as like, as fast as a worm can run. Um, Shimmering in the moonlight, and they all look like they're going the same place. And I can't figure out why they're doing that. I've never on earth seen a worm or a bunch of worms travel like they're traveling in a herd. So, you know, I'm sorry, Jeremy, but I'm going to have to follow them and see where they go. So I follow the last worm as I watch it like scoot slowly across the path. And I follow them into a small clearing in the woods. And I'm very surprised because they're all sitting around in the woods on the grass, like in a little circle, staring at each other. And I swear that I look down and I see a tiny sign that says Wereworm Support Group.
And as I look down at this wereworm support group, I think I see tiny little fangs glinting in the moonlight. And I mean, it all makes sense. I didn't think that worms had teeth, but something clearly bit me. And as I enter the clearing, all of the worms turn to stare at me at once. And I think about running. Then I remember my injured toe and my lack of flip flop. So I just stand there praying that they won't attack. And then one of them gets a little bit taller, stands up on his little worm butt, and looks at me and says, "Are you here for the support group?"
I would say I am now, but that's not it. So, and I'm like, okay, so I look at the worm and I blink and I'm like, I could not have actually heard that, right? Like that worm, like totally didn't just stand up and talk. And then the worm looks at me and says, I totally did. So I assume you're not here for the support group.
And I looked at him and I looked down at my toe, and then I started to feel a really strange sensation. I felt as though my arms and my legs were pulling back into my body. And as I looked at the worms, they started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the grass started getting bigger and bigger. And then I realized that it wasn't everything else around me that was getting bigger, it was me that was getting smaller.
And then I realized that I was no longer holding onto my flip flop because I no longer had hands and I no longer had feet. And I looked down and my body was slimy and covered in ridges because I was a fucking worm. Because, great, I get cursed by a were creature and I can't even get a good one. I get a worm. I'm going to turn into a wereworm. Oh no, I don't get to be a wolf or a puma or something glamorous. I get to be a wereworm because I can't even get cursed right. That's how things are going for me.
And the worm who had initially spoken to me scooted a little bit closer and said, "Hey, you are not the first one I've seen this happen to. You just got bit. Sorry. That was probably Theodore. He's a little bit loose with his fangs every now and then. So sorry about that. Normally people don't come through the park at this time of night. What were you even doing?" And I spoke to him. I realized that I could speak, even though we were speaking in worm language. And I said, I was supposed to go on a date. What was I supposed to know that I wasn't supposed to come through the park at this time? Like, I don't know that there's a wereworm support group. I don't even know what's going on. Can you please just tell me what's going on?
And Theodore looks at me. I would say in the eyes, but we're worms at this point, but I could tell. He looked at me with his worm soul and he said, I've seen you walk through this park before, always rushing off to go on these terrible dates with these human men who don't appreciate you. And I've always secretly loved you. So when I saw you lose your flip flop and have that bare toe on the path, I decided to take the chance and show you that I might be your dream man if you'd just give me a chance. So
At first, anger flared through me, and I thought, how could somebody, a worm, possibly have done this to me? What did I do to deserve this? But then Theodore looked at me and continued to look at me with those soulful worm eyes. And I thought, you know what? My life has not been that great. He's right. I've never met a man worth dating. Why shouldn't I give this Theodore a chance? I mean, I was going to give Jeremy a chance, and his profile picture was him with a dead moose. So why not give this a try? And so I didn't have a hand to grab Theodore, but I did scoot closer and I said, "You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this, Theo."
You're not any worse than any of the other guys on the dating app. Sorry. I'm dying. I don't know that I have anything else. So, and then we kissed. We nuzzled our worm tips together and had our first kiss, and jolts of electricity went through my little worm body, and I knew that maybe this trip through the park under the full moon with my lost flip flop, maybe it was fate that brought Theodore and I together.
The end. Yes.
Did we do it? How long did we take? Was it
7
okay?
minutes. That
Okay, well,
was
that's not
good.
terrible. Okay.
That was hilarious.
Okay, we got wereworms. Yeah. Of course,
Okay,
in my head, I'm already rewriting it like in my brain, like to make it good. So,
that was so much fun, though.
uh, not what you're expecting. So,
No, I was not expecting worm at all, but I loved it. And yeah, so now you get to help me give that a title.
well, we can't like reveal that they're wereworms. So,
Probably a good point. Yeah.
something under the moonlight.
Mm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right. Because Wereworm Support Group gives everything away.
Yeah.
Hmm. Finally, a
Hmm.
good date.
Finally, a good date. I mean, I would read a short story that said "finally a good date." I would read
Okay,
that.
there we have it.
Okay, we're doing that. Yeah, pretty good.
Honestly, it's probably better than a lot of the dates I had in my 20s.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's a whole
Well,
other conversation.
yes. Well, that was
Uh,
super fun. I hope that you had a good time doing that.
I did. Thank you for walking me through my absolute terror at live talking storytelling. So
You did great. You really did.
don't give me
And
a
it
big
was
head.
funny, and it was so different, and yes, I loved that. And, okay, since I put you through that, I don't know about you, but I am feeling hungrier than Lloyd Lamb Wallace after all of that. So, it's time for a surprise.
Okay.
I have created a recipe based off of the graveyard shift just for you, and I can tell you this is a good one. So, I know you've already got a recipe in your book, you're one step ahead of me, but I wanted to make something new and different. So, I have made Lloyd's life-saving slushie. So, if you've read The Graveyard Shift, then you know Lloyd loves his slushies. So, I wanted to recreate a slushie my way. It's really simple. It's milk, frozen cherries, frozen strawberries, and frozen raspberries to a blender along with half of a banana. You blend it all up, and then you have something that looks bloody delicious, and it's a frozen treat worthy of Lloyd himself.
I'm writing down the recipe because
It will
that might
also
end
be
up
in
in a
the
book
show
later.
notes. Yes, it will be in the show notes for anybody who wants to snack on
All
something
right.
during a
Awesome.
reading binge or who needs some fuel to fight some monsters, honestly.
Fantastic.
Have tried, can confirm it is delicious, and it probably
And
tastes
sounds
better
like you
than
could
any
probably
gas
add
station
booze to
slushie.
it.
Yes, you absolutely could.
Since it is summer, so icy booze, yeah,
Mhm,
totally.
mhm.
So,
Well, thank you so much for doing this with me. Where can people find you and keep up with you and your work?
the best place to just go to my website, dmgay.com. And of course, I'm complicated and I have to spell it out for you. So it's dmguay.com. So that's the best place. Plus, you can, if you Google me, I'm pretty much the only one in the English language outside of France. So you'll find me. So
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
thank you so much, Biggie.